begin with the session, we are going to discuss a very important topic for today. Okay, it's slightly tricky, but yeah, very important topic. Okay, and it's easy. In turn, you concentrate. Okay, so we are going to discuss something called as Singleton class. Okay, we're going to discuss something called as Singleton class or Singleton design pattern here. Okay, both means the same here. We are going to discuss something called as Singleton class or Singleton design pattern here. Okay, what is it, sir? Okay, so basically here for one class we can create any number of objects. Correct? For one respective class here we can create any number of objects. There's no restrictions at all. But singleton design pattern is a process wherein we should be able to create only one object for a class here. For a class, we can create thousands of objects here. But if I follow singleton class procedure or singleton design pattern here, we should be able to create only one object for that respective class here. That's the reason here we have to always follow this particular design pattern here. Okay. For example, imagine you have a bank account. Okay, so imagine you have an account in a bank. Okay, how many accounts can you have here? Only a single account, no? Okay, in different banks you can have multiple accounts here. In a bank here you can have only a single account, right? So wherein we should be able to create only a single object for it. Clear? Now again here, for example, how many prime minister can be there for a country? There can be only one prime minister, no? There can be different prime ministers for different countries here. For a country, there can be only one prime minister here. So singleton design pattern is it's such a way wherein we should be able to create only a single object for a class here, not more. Okay, only one object here. So that is called a singleton class here. Okay. So what are the few rules which we have to follow here? Let us try to understand it in a beautiful manner here. Okay. The first step here is I will have a class here. See, class, and the class name is account here. What is the class name? I'll have a class name as account. Open curly braces, and then we are supposed to write it as close curly braces. Open curly braces and close curly braces. So this is nothing but a beautiful class here. Now here my requirement is I should be able to create only one object for a class, not more. Okay, only one object for a class here. So therefore I'll have one more class. Class test here. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces, and I'll also have my main method. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. So now here I can create any number of objects. See, account A1 equals to new account of. Okay, I can create one object, I can create two objects, correct? No, I can create three objects. So I am able to create multiple objects for a class account here, but my requirement is I should be able to create only one account for a class. That is called a singleton design pattern. In order to achieve that, okay, we need to have, okay, rule number one is to have a private constructor. What is rule number one? I need to have something called as private constructor. Private, class name and the constructor name is same. Open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. So what did you understand here, sir? Since constructor is private here, we can access the constructor only within the same class. We cannot access it outside the class here. But now it's common sense that when we create an object here, mandatorily constructor will get sorry, when we create an object here, mandatorily constructor will get invoked here. But since the constructor is private here, we cannot create an object outside the class here. It's giving me some kind of problem here. Got the clarity here? So here we will go and check the rule number one here. Go back over here. Okay. So I have a project here. Okay, let me create a project under libraries only. I will create a package called as control N. I will create a package, and the package name is Singleton. Okay, Singleton design pattern or Singleton class. Okay, under Java libraries, I have created a package called a Singleton. Under that, I will create a class here, and the class name is let me create it as account. Okay, so here, okay, we have a class called as account here, and we have one more class called as user here. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to explain. You need to have patience level for 10 to 15 minutes here. Okay, you cannot understand this program in a single go. Okay, you need to have patience level. So now here, I hope you all understood what is the program all about as of now. Okay, so we have a class called as account. Okay, and it is public, so we can access it everywhere. So now here, outside the class here, I can create any number of accounts. See, account A1 equals to new account of. Similarly, I will create three account objects. See, 2, 3. So I was able to create three account objects here. But what is your requirement here? Sir, I should be able to create only one object, sir, but I am able to create three objects, sir. That should be avoided. Okay, singleton design pattern meaning we should be able to create only one object for a class. Okay, but here I am able to create multiple objects here. Okay, so rule number one is to achieve singleton design pattern, I should have a private constructor. Private class name and the constructor name should be same, and open curly braces close here. As soon as I have private constructor over here, and I can just write it as this out object created. Can I write this statement here? Constructor will get executed only when we create an object. No. So that's the reason I have one implementation as object created here. But here it's giving me an error. Why? Sir, since the constructor is private, sir, we cannot create an object, sir. We cannot create an object at all. So what am I supposed to do here? Any idea? So singleton design pattern meaning, okay, I should be able to create only one object. So if I don't make it as private, I can create n number of objects outside the class. So rule number one is I will have a private constructor. As soon as I have private constructor here, I cannot create the objects outside the class here. It will give me an error. I cannot create an object outside the class here. Got the clarity here? So now here, this is one way we understood over here. What are the different answers for it here? Sir, since we are not able to create an object in user class, you have to create an object in account class only. So since private meaning we can access it in the same class, no. Therefore, okay, what are we trying to do, See here. There is no direct accessibility at all. Okay, see here. There is a boy over here. Okay. There is a boy over here and there is a girl over here. Okay, so now this boy wants this girl's contact number. Okay, he wants to talk to her. Okay, this boy wants to talk to this particular girl here. So this guy is scared. Okay, so he doesn't want to go directly to the girl and ask her number here. So what he'll do here, there is no direct interaction. Okay, so therefore there's a mediator. It's his friend, common friend. So the boy will go to his friend and tell, hey, please get her number. So this boy will go to the girl and he'll get her number here. Since there is no direct interaction over here, he's taking the help of his friend here. He's taking the help of his friend who will get the number for him here. Got it? Similarly, since we are not able to create an object in the class, I will create one helper method here. Okay, that helper method should be public. Why should it be public? Because this method should be accessed by everyone. Public void is the return type. Okay, method name is create object. What is the method name? Create object. Open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. Okay, got the clarity here. So I will create an object here. See, account A equals to new account of. Got the clarity here. What am I trying to do? Since directly we cannot create an object here, therefore I will create a method called as helper method. Okay, who is helping me to create an object. Create object is the helper method name, and when I call that method, he is going to create an object for me. Okay, the return type is void because we cannot access it direct. I mean, it is not returning anything. And it is public because everyone can access it. Clear? But now that's what I try to do it. So since I have the constructor as private here, we cannot create an object outside the class here. Clear? So therefore, I will have one helper method. And that helper method name is create object, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close. And that method should be public because everyone should be able to access it, and then return type is void because he's not returning anything. And what should the method do here? He has to create an account object. See, account obj equals to new account. See, when I call that method, he is creating an object in the same class. Since the constructor is private and I'm invoking the constructor in the same class, it will work fine here. Got the clarity? But now, this is a non-static method here. In order to invoke that particular method, I have to create an account object here. I have to create an account object in order to call that create object method. But this object creation is only not possible here. But this helper method, how can I call him here? You got the question here, sir. Since the constructor is private, we cannot create an object outside the class here. Therefore, I will make use of a helper method called as create object who will help me to create an object here. But this guy is a non-static guy. But if I want to create it as static, I want to create an object. No, that's not possible at all. So what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do here? Okay. So there are a few answers here. Okay, so the first question is inherit the account class. Okay, that's one way of doing it here. Okay, we can inherit the account class here, wherein this create object method will be invoked here. Okay, create object method will be invoked. That's not the other way. Okay, we can do it, but we don't follow it. But the optional way is I can make this method as static here. Okay, I can make this method as static. As soon as I make this method a static here, what happens here? We can call the method with the help of class name. Correct? No, there is no necessity of creating an object at all. There is no necessity of inheriting at all. So I can access it with the help of class name here directly. Therefore, here, what am I supposed to do here? In order to access this respective content here, I have to just, make it as static. Once I make it as static here, I can call class name dot create object method. See, I call the class name dot create object. So when I execute it over here, okay, see, I should be able to create an object here. I should be able to create an object. See, object created, meaning, so what happened over here? Account dot create object, meaning create object is a static method present in account class. So we are accessing with the help of class name. So when I call this account.create object, this method will get called. Object will get created. And when the object gets created, constructor also will get called. And what is the implementation here? Object created. I will call the method multiple times here. So what happens now? Multiple objects will get created. See, object created, object created, meaning 3 times object was created, 3 times constructor was invoked. So we got the implementation 3 times. But this is what I need to avoid it. No, this is what I need to avoid it here. How can I avoid here? Singleton meaning we should be able to create only one object. No, but I am able to create multiple objects here. What is the alternative way here? Make the method as final. Final methods, the implementation is cannot be overridden. Okay, so what I will do here is, okay, I will declare it outside. Okay, there's a difference here. See, what is the difference, sir? See, so now when I tell int a equals to 10, this is declaration and initialization, correct? Can I break it into two ways? Int a and a equals to 10. Possible, no? Sir, here you're declaring, sir, you're initializing, sir, in a single line. But here you're declaring separately, initializing separately. Similarly, car C equals to new car of. I am creating an object directly. Can I declare it separately and create an object separately here? Possible. Sir, you're declaring, sir. Here you're creating an object, sir. This can also be written in this particular way here. Got it here? So therefore, okay, I go back to the this part here. Okay, So I will declare it outside here. I will declare it outside here. Okay. And the okay, account is a class and the reference type is obj. And I have told you a few days back the default value for the non-primitive data type. What is the default value for string? It's null. Why? Because string is a class. Similarly, account is of type obj is of type account, which is a class. So the default value will be null here. If you want, you can explicitly initialize it to null also. Okay, account obj equals to null. You can explicitly do it here. Now what will you do here is, if obj equal to null, that is wherein you will create an object here. But still it's giving an error here. Can you tell me what is the reason it's giving an error here? Think and tell me here, why is it giving an error over here? So there is some problem with respect to obj. So what is that problem here? You have to tell me here. Think and tell me what is the problem here. Sir, obj is of type account, agreed, but this is non-static, okay? And this is a static method, and we are trying to make use of obj, which is of type non-static in static method, which is not possible. Therefore, I have to make this as static here. So when I make this obj as static here, I can access it within the method easily here. So therefore here, else I can just write cannot create object. See, cannot create object. So I will just write it as cannot create object. Sir, what is happening over here, sir? It's very simple here. See here. Now when I execute my Java program here, we are done with singleton. Actually speaking, we are done. So when I execute it over here, look here, object created, cannot create object here. Sir, how am I getting it, sir? Simple. For the very first time, account is a class, and in that we have a static method called as create object. Press Ctrl on your keyboard, hover on the method, click on it. See, a create object is a static method, so therefore we are calling it with the help of class name. And the return type is void because we cannot access that method name. It's not returning anything. So is obj equal to null. For the very first time, obj is equal to null. So it's true. If obj equal to null, it's true. Therefore, you will create an object and you will store some object address into obj. So now obj was initially null. Okay, obj was initially null here, but later you create an object and store the address 0x1 here. Therefore, when I create an object, constructor will also get executed. Create object created will get executed, and control comes back. When I call for the second time account.create object, I call the method. If obj equal to null, is it null now? No, some object address is stored here. Therefore, it goes to the else block and it will tell cannot create object here. Got the clarity here? So it tells cannot create object. Again, when I try to call it here, again it will tell cannot create object here. Therefore, when I execute it, I will be able to create an object only once here. Got the clarity here? Okay, this is all about the entire process here. Okay, so therefore here, even this object reference here, I can make it as private, so that this object reference can be accessed only within the same class. So the class is public, so you can do whatever with respect to the class. The variable is private, the constructor is private. You have given the accessibility only for that method, so that we can access that method outside the class here. This is called a singleton design pattern, wherein we are able to create only one object for that respective class here. Got it? So now I go back to my definition part. So just understand what is singleton design pattern or singleton class. Singleton class or a singleton design pattern is wherein we can create only a single instance or a single object for a class. Meaning, for one class, there is a possibility of creating n number of objects. But singleton design pattern is wherein, okay, it's a process wherein we should be able to create only one object for a class. So what are the rules for doing it? You like it, you don't like it, you have to follow 3 rules. Okay? We have to declare the method as private. Once you declare the method as private, we will restrict creating an object outside the class. As soon as you make it as private constructor, we cannot create an object outside the class here. Therefore, we should have an helper method who will help me to create an object. Okay, and that should be public because it has to be accessed by everyone, and static because why? Because if it's non-static method, we have to create an object. That is only not possible. So I'll make it as static method who will help me to create an object. After that, and the business logic, if only if it is null for the very first time, create an object. If not, don't create. So we should have a private, static, non-primitive reference variable. See, private, static, non-primitive reference variable. Account is a class. It is also acting as a data type here. So it behaves as a non-primitive reference variable, non-primitive variable. Static because we have to access it within the static method, and private because this reference variable I shouldn't be able to access it directly over here. Got it? So that's the reason here we are supposed to create an object here. Got it here? Understood? Can we do one more program over here wherein we will be able to understand? I'll give you 2-3 programs here because this is one of the most important topic in an interview pattern, interview question. So in an interview, they'll ask here, are you aware of any design pattern? You can boldly, confidently tell, yes, I know Singleton design pattern. If they ask what is it, you will tell Singleton design pattern is a process wherein we should be able to create only one object for a class. And how do we achieve it? Private constructor, public static, helper method, and a private static non-primitive reference variable. Only these three things are mandatory. After that, we can successfully create an object. Got it? Can we write the program in a beautiful manner now? One more beautiful program, we'll try to do it here. So for the people who still have confusions here, concentrate. You will definitely understand now. Okay? Control N. I will create a class and the class name is, we will give it as Aadhaar. Okay? Aadhaar. Okay? Aadhaar card. So now here, typically speaking, okay, how many Aadhaar cards can a person have here? Only one Aadhaar card, no? Only one Aadhaar number, no? Is it possible to have multiple Aadhaar cards with different numbers here? In India, it's possible here, but practically we don't do it, right? Okay, so it's possible to have one person only can have 10 Aadhaar cards here, okay, but we generally don't do it, right? Practically speaking, that shouldn't be done, correct? So we should have one person should have a single Aadhaar card, correct? So just I'm taking an example, okay? It's not real time perspective. Just an example wherein you can relate it easily. Package singleton means, okay, there is a folder called as singleton and Aadhaar card.java is stored in singleton package. Class is a blueprint of an object. Public is an access specifier wherein this class can be accessed everywhere. Okay. Now I'll have a person. Okay, and I'll have a person class. So now in person class here, see here, I can create n number of Aadhaar cards, Aadhaar card objects here. Okay, see, I'll have my main method. So I can create n number of Aadhaar cards. See, Aadhaar card A equals to new Aadhaar card. So I created one object. Similarly, I can create n number of objects here. See, I have to just give different names. Here I'll give A1, A2, A3, A3, A4, and A5. See, I was able to create 5 objects here. But now, one person can have only one Aadhaar card. So he should be able to create only one object. Got the clarity here? So what did you understand here? Since see, Aadhaar card, okay, is a class. And I am able to create 5 objects for Aadhaar card here. But I should be able to achieve singleton design pattern. Create only one Aadhaar card object. Therefore, the rule number 1 is to have a private constructor. I will have private constructor here, okay, which will tell, I'll just write it as Aadhaar card object creator. I'll just write it as Aadhaar card object creator. Okay, that's it. So as soon as I make the constructor as private here, we cannot create an object outside the class. We cannot create an object outside the class at all. Why? Because you have made the constructor as private. For achieving singleton design pattern, rule number 1 is to have a private constructor. So we cannot create an object, outside the class directly. Therefore, we should have one helper method. What is that helper method? Create Aadhaar card object. See, I'll just write it as create Aadhaar card object. What is the helper method name? Yeah, you can have any helper method name. I'll just create the helper method name as create Aadhaar card object. That's the helper method name. Open curly braces, close. And the return type as of now it's void. Why? Because it is not returning anything. And this method should be public so that everyone should be able to access it. Okay. Public means this method should be should be accessed by everyone. Void means it does not return anything. But this is a non-static method. If I want to access it outside the class or anywhere, we have to create an object. But that's not possible at all. No, we are not able to create an object at all. Therefore, what am I supposed to do here? Okay. So we have to, what are we supposed to do? Since this is a public non-static method, I have to create an object over here, but that's not possible here, right? So what am I supposed to do? Any idea? What am I supposed to do? I have to make this method as static. What am I supposed to do? I have to make this method as static. As soon as I make this method as static here, I can access this with the help of, okay, class name. See, create Aadhaar card dot create Aadhaar card object. Aadhaar card dot create Aadhaar card object. I am able to access this static method with the help of class name. But over here, okay, see if I tell Aadhaar card, okay, Aadhaar card AC equals to new Aadhaar card. So I am creating an object. If I call this method once here, okay, if I call this method once here, okay, if I just call this method once over here, look what is happening over here. Okay, when I execute the program here, see, Aadhaar card object got created. What if I created multiple times here? So when I execute it here, I am able to create 4 objects here, which should be avoided, correct? So how will I avoid it here? Sir, declare this variable outside, sir. Okay, declare this variable outside, and the default value is automatically null. AC is of type Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is a class with the default value is nothing but null already. Therefore, if AC equal to null, only then we are supposed to create an object here. Okay, only then create an object. That's it. Okay, only then we are supposed to create an object. But why is it giving an error here? AC is giving an error. Why? Because AC is of type Aadhaar card, which is non-static. If it is non-static, we cannot access it within the static method. Why? Because static methods will get loaded during class loading time. Correct. An object will get created only, non-static will get stored only when we create an object. So we have to make this also as static here. Okay. So now it works fine. Okay. Therefore, now when I try to execute it here, I will get the object only once here. Why? Even I might try to call the method 1,000 times here, but only once it will get created. How? See, when I call for the very first time Aadhaar card dot create Aadhaar card object, I am calling the method for the very first time. Is AC equal to null? Yes. The default value is null. It's null. So Aadhaar card object will get created, and I will store the address over here. If you want to print this ACC, if you want to print that object address, I'll print it. I'll print that AC. When I execute it, see, object got created. Okay, and it is printing the data here. Got the clarity here? If you want, you can print it initially here. Okay, AC, what will be the output? See, initially what happened here? It was null. Aadhaar card object got stored. Therefore, the Aadhaar card object address, the string representation will get printed here. It was initially null. Therefore, I created Aadhaar card object and then the Aadhaar card object address here. So that way you can print and check, okay, if you want to do it here. Okay, so we were able to create only one object here. This is all about the entire process here. Even if you try to create 1,000 objects here, it will call the method only once here. And I will make this reference as private. If not, see, I can directly tell Aadhaar card, okay, Aadhaar card dot AC. I can access this reference variable here directly. Okay, therefore, I will make it as private over here. So if I make it as private here, I cannot access it outside the class here. Clear? So that's the reason, and for security purpose here, I'm not giving the object address over here. This is what we are supposed to understand here. Got it? See, private constructor, okay, public static, okay, helper method who will help me to create an object, and a private static reference variable here, okay, non-primitive reference variable. Only when I satisfy all the three rules here, I would be done with this entire data here. Got the clarity here? So this is all about the entire process here. Clear? So now tell me, do you have any questions as of now here? Do you have any questions as of now, guys? Let me know here. Any questions as of now here? Quickly tell me. Okay, great. So, there's one more question which I'll try to do it here now. Okay, so this is important now. Okay, the program which I'm trying to do now is important. So try to concentrate. Same singleton only. I will have a class called as Prime Minister. Okay, I will have a class called as Prime Minister. Okay, and the prime minister name is string name equals to, it's nothing but Modi. Okay, so prime minister is a class and he has a variable, okay, that is called as name, and the name of the prime minister is Modi. That's it. Clear everyone here? So now here there can be only one prime minister class, okay, one prime minister for a country. So I should be able to create only one object here. Therefore I need to achieve singleton here. How? Control N, and we are the citizen over here. Okay, so we can just have one test class here. Okay, you can write it as citizen class or person class or whatever it is. So here I will have my main method wherein I can create, see, prime minister p1 equals to new prime minister. Now you need to answer each and everything here. Okay, so here prime minister is a class. Okay, and now I can create multiple objects for prime minister. See, I can create multiple objects of prime minister. See, p1, p2, p3. I was able to create three objects of prime minister class. But I need to achieve singleton design pattern, singleton class, wherein I should be able to create only one object. So what am I supposed to do here? What is the rule number one here? Tell me quickly, sir. Sir, Prime Minister is a class and I am able to create three objects of Prime Minister, which shouldn't be done. I should be able to create only one object. For achieving that, what is rule number one? Rule number one is, sir, try to have a private constructor. Very good. So I need to have a private constructor by the name Prime Minister. Okay. So here I'll just write it as PM instance created. Can I just write it as PM instance created? Okay. PM got elected. I can just write it as PM got elected. Once the PM gets elected, we're done. Only once. Okay. We cannot elect a PM multiple times here. Okay. So PM got elected here. Okay. So therefore, we are not able to create an object outside the class directly. Okay. So now what am I supposed to do now? See, first rule was to create a private constructor. So PM got elected. Okay, Prime Minister got elected. So I have a private constructor. Therefore, since I made it as private, we cannot create an object of Prime Minister outside the class. Okay, I have avoided it. Therefore, what am I supposed to do now? Rule number two. What is rule number two? Since the constructor is private, we cannot create an object outside the class. Therefore, I have to create an helper method, okay, who will help me to create an object. So I will write the helper method name as create PM object here. Okay, what did I do? I will create a method called as create PM object, and now I will write it as the return type is void, because this method will not return anything as of now. I have to make use of an helper method name. You can give helper method name as whatever you like it. It's not always create PM object, create Aadhaar card object, create account object. No, nothing like that. We can have any name here. And this method should be public because this method should be accessed by everyone. So now this is a non-static method. If it is non-static method, still I have to create an object here, but that's only not possible, no. So what I have to make it? So I can write it as static public also. It will work fine. Okay, this we can change it here. So you can write it as static public or public static. So we are generally used to writing public static, no. So therefore, see, public static void create PM object. That's the method here. I know why is it public static void. I have told you. Okay. and therefore I can access it with the help of class name. See, I can access it as Prime Minister dot create PM object method. I can access it directly. So now here I will create an object. See, Prime Minister PM equals to new Prime Minister of. I am creating an object over here. Okay. So now when I call the method here, did I get the output here? See, when I executed, did I get the output? Yes, Prime Minister got elected here. But now, if I write it as multiple times, I call it 4 times here, 3 times. Now when I execute it here, see, Prime Minister got elected, got elected, got elected, meaning 3 instances, 3 times, okay, it got created. That's not possible. At a time here, we cannot have three Prime Ministers here, only one Prime Minister, okay. So therefore, what am I supposed to do now? I should be able to create only one object here, even if I try to create 1,000 times here, okay. So what am I supposed to do here? Okay, sir, what will you do here is you will declare it outside, sir. You will declare it as Prime Minister PM over here, and the data type over here. I mean the default value is null already. It's automatically null here. PM is automatically null. Why? Because the default value is null. So you have to write one if condition here. If PM object, if it is equal to null, only then you have to create an object here. Only then create an object. Don't create it always here. Only when it is null, create an object here. But now there's again one small problem over here. Okay, what is that problem here? Okay, tell me. Sir, this PM is of type Prime Minister. It's a non-primitive reference variable. But since we are accessing it in a static method, we have to make this reference variable as also static. And for security purpose, I will make it as private here. Got it? So I can successfully access it. Now when I try to call the method, when I try, see, create PM object, I am trying to invoke it twice. Okay. But only once it will get created. See, Prime Minister got elected. Only once I was able to create it. This is how we are supposed to understand the data here. Okay, I hope you all got the clarity. But wait, we haven't done it completely. So now here, we created an object, we accessed it. See, private constructor, public static helper method, okay, and a private static reference variable. Private static helper method, private static reference variable, and a private constructor here. Oh, I'm so sorry, public static, right? Public static helper method, okay, private static reference variable, and a private constructor. So these are the 3 rules here. But wait, okay, I have Prime Minister class has a non-static variable called as name, which is initialized to Modi. I have to print it. Okay, I have to print the value of a Prime Minister. So I have to create an object. But object creation is only not possible. No, did you all get my point here? Did you all get my question, sir? Prime Minister class is having a non-static variable by the name called as name only, which is initialized to Modi. I have to print it. But since the non-static variable, I need the object address. So what am I supposed to do here? Make string variable as again static. Good, that's okay. You can make it as static over here and we can access it with the help of class name. But now, this is non-static because the name of the Prime Minister is dependent on the person. Correct. Static meaning it will have a single copy. Correct. Wherein Prime Minister here, okay, in this reference part here, name meaning this is dependent on the person, right? So I have to make it as non-static only. So if it is non-static, ignore that. Okay, I shouldn't make it as static. I should still be able to access it. So how can I do it here? Any idea? How can I do it over here? Think and tell me. Can I do this way here, sir? After creating an object here, I will return the object address here. Can I tell return PM here? So when I tell create PM object here, he will create the PM object and return the PM object's address here. So therefore, when I tell return PM, what will be the return type over here? What will be the return type over here? Can you tell me here? PM is of type Prime Minister here. So the return type will be Prime Minister over here. Got it? What will be the return type here? The return type will also be Prime Minister. So now, what is the method doing? Okay. So create and return. See, create and return, return, return PM object here. So what is the method name I have changed to? So the method name is create and return PM object here. That's my method name here. So the helper method is creating an object also and returning that object address also. Got it? So therefore, okay, I have to store it into a variable called as PM, and the return type of this PM is Prime Minister. Sir, how, sir? Slightly confusing, sir. Don't worry. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. So wait for it. Wait for my turn over here. Okay. So here, okay, I want everyone to concentrate properly now. Okay, because we are jumping into the, the crazy part here. Okay. So just concentrate. Okay. See here, we have a class. Hey, understand carefully. Class, and the class name is A. Open curly braces, close curly braces. So we have a static method. Static, okay, and the method name is M1 method. Okay, and the method name is M1 method. Now I will tell return 10. Can you tell me what will be the return type? What will be the return type? Now you have to answer me. Okay, I want answers from everyone here. Okay, sir, we have a class and the class name is A and the method name is M1 and it is static because we have to access it with the help of class name. Okay, so here the return type will be int here. Why? Because you're returning 10, sir. Therefore, the return type is int, sir. Therefore, A dot M1 method. Can I call it that way? Why? M1 is a static method in A class. So I am telling A dot M1. So I goes there. Control goes over here. Return 10 meaning control comes to the caller and he has returned 10. That I will store it into a variable X and the data type will be int here. Why? Because it is returning an int value. Therefore, I'm storing it into X. The data type will also be int here. Did you all understand this process? Did you all understand this process? Yes or no? Answer quickly. Very good, very good, very good. Okay. Similarly, wait for it. I also have one more part here. Okay. What is that, sir? I will tell you. Wait for it. Wait for my turn. So here, okay, wait for it. I'm giving you multiple instances. That's the reason I'm taking a bit of time. Okay, we'll do it. Do beautifully. Now I will tell return 10. Now can you tell me, oh wait, no, wait, 1.5. Okay. Now tell me what will be my return type. What will be my return type? I want answers from everyone. What will be my return type? Sir, you are telling return 1.5, which is a double value. But since you have enclosed it in double quotations here, it will absolutely behave as string here. I told you, if you write any content in double quotes, it will behave as a string. Therefore, when I tell a dot m1, a is a class. In a class, we have a static method called as m1. We are calling that m1 method over here. It is telling return 1.5, which is a string. So 1.5 is returned over here. That is stored into X. And what will be the data type here? String only. Why? Because it is returning a string value that I am storing it into X, which is of type string only. Got the clarity? Understood. Similarly, okay, I will tell return, okay, I'll tell return hi. I'll tell return hi. Do you think so? Is there any difference or is it working fine here? Do you think so? Is there any difference or is it perfect here? String only. How? Sir, M1 method is returning hi, which is a set of characters. The return type is string here. Therefore, it is string here. Very good, sir. No problem at all, sir. This is what I was trying to tell here. Similarly over here, okay. Similarly over here, I have a class called as A. Okay, in that we have a static method, static m1 method. So over here, okay, we are creating an object of car. See, car C equals to new car of. I will tell return C. Okay, what will be my return type? A dot M1 of. Okay, I'm calling it. What will be my return type now? What will be my return type, guys? What will be my return type? Oi, return type, guys, return type here. What will be my return type? What the hell? Everyone are giving me wrong answers here. Hey, Dabba fellows here. Look here. What is happening over here? See here. C is of type car. Okay. Class car. We have a class called as car over here. So when I tell new car, I created an object of car. Okay. I'm stored in C. What is the type of C? It's car. When I tell return C, how can the return type be A? How? Okay, slap yourself once here. Okay, wake up here. How can it be A here? Am I returning any reference variable of A? I am returning C, which is of type car. So therefore, the return type has to be car over here. So imagine over here. Okay. So wait, I will have a class here. Wait for it. So I will have a class called as A. Okay. So now I will have a static method. Static M1 method, open curly braces close. When I tell int x equals to 10 and when I tell return x over here, will my return type be A? Will my return type be A here? No, right? What will be my return type over here? How? Sir, 10 is a non-static, I mean 10 is a non-decimal value that is getting stored into x. X is of type int. When I tell return x here, I am returning 10 here. So what is the type of 10 here? It is int here. The data type will be int here, not the class here. Similarly over here, okay, if I have a class called as test, okay, now here I will have a static method. Static M1 method, open curly braces close. So now here I will tell one student object. Student is a class. Student S equals to new student of. Now when I tell return S here, what do you understand? New student means one object got created and that object address is stored into S here. When I tell return S here, what is my return type? What is my return type? Sir, it is student, sir. How? Sir, S is of type student, sir. I am returning a student object. So the return type will be student only. Clear? Similarly, over here, if I create an object of employee, employee E equals to new employee. When I tell E, the return type will be employee. Based on the value I return, I have to decide my data type over here. Similarly, what am I trying to do over here? See, PM equals to null. Is it null here? Yes. I create an PM object here and I'm storing the PM's object address into PM. Okay, into a variable called as PM. Return PM meaning I am returning the object of PM. Okay, what is the type of PM here? The type of PM is Prime Minister. So the return type over here is what? I am trying to store the object into a reference variable PM, which is of type Prime Minister. Therefore, PM dot, can I access the name over here? Why? PM is nothing but the reference variable which is storing the object here. Therefore, I can access it successfully. So if I execute it over here, see, PM got elected and what is his name here? It's Modi here. So you can write it as name and the name is nothing but Modi here. This is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to the actual content here. Got it? Guys, it's high time here you realize the importance of how do we calculate the return type. You are all behind 20 to 30 sessions. When I did methods, I told you return type, how do we judge here? And when I did generalization, specialization, I have told you here, how do we decide the return type again? Even now, if you're making mistake here, okay, I feel guilty training you all. Okay. So this is really very bad here, okay? You giving wrong answers over here. First judge yourself, okay? Rather than judging others, first judge yourself here, okay? Where you're standing here, okay? We can give you 1,000 things here. Are you okay to take it? That is my question here, okay? So it's high time if you want to do something in life, no? Make sure it's high time you realize it. If not, You're gonna pay for it, okay? Very, very difficult, guys, okay? Oof. Anyway, yeah, very simple over here. Whatever is the return type, create a variable and try to hold that variable. That's it. Primitive or non-primitive doesn't matter at all. Okay, so this is what you know he has sent here. Okay, this is what it's the basic simple way. This is the logic, guys. Okay, you have to understand the logic behind it. Okay, even if you're not able to do it, no, it's you have to do it. One last program. Oh, trust me, Singleton design pattern. I'm doing more than 3 programs. Never ever in my life I have done so many programs for a single batch here. Okay. Anyway, I'll do it to one more last program over here. I want you all to answer it in a good way here. Okay. So first of all, which class will we take here? We will take a class called as. You give me an example. Which class shall we take? Wherein we should be able to create only a single instance here. Okay, we'll take marriage. You can get married only once, no? Don't get married multiple times. Okay, marriage is a class, so you should be able to create only one time marriage. Okay, only one object, not multiple objects here. Don't get married multiple times here. Okay, so with the same girl, okay, marry 1,000 times also, but okay, simple. Okay, so marriage, and then I'll just have a variable called as int age equals to 25. Okay, so that's a non-primitive, sorry, that's a non-static variable storing 25. So here marriage, I should be able to create only one object. I want answers from everyone over here. Okay, so make sure you are concentrating for the next 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. We'll be done with the entire session. Okay, so you have to create a class called as marriage. Okay, and here you will have a class called as user. User we have no. We'll take it as something. We'll take it as solution class. Okay, so now here in solution class here, look what is happening over here. Oh, I can create n number of objects for a class. See, marriage m1 equals to new marriage. Clear? I am able to create, okay, not one, not two, not three. I can create 1,000 objects here. Okay, see, doesn't matter. But the problem here is we have same reference variable. You give m2, m3, m4, m5, and m6, m7, m8, m9. It will work fine. No problems at all over here. Okay, so we were able to create 9 objects of marriage class. Okay, but this is not possible. Okay, so you can create only one object for marriage class. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? So rule number one, sir, have a private constructor. Private and class name and constructor name should be same. Okay, so here I will just write it as got married. Okay, I'll just write it as got married. So once we create an object, constructor will get created. Therefore, got married. I'll just write it as got married. Got it? As soon as I make the constructor as private here, we cannot create an object outside the class, because the private constructor is private, it does not have the permission to access it outside. Therefore, okay, so here, okay, I have to have an helper method who will help me to get married here. Okay, so here I'll just write it as create object. What is the method name? And the method name is create object here. So that should be public because it should be accessed by everyone, and it should be static. Why? Because we cannot access it with the help of object. So that's the reason. And the return type it is as of now void. Okay. So here I can access it as marriage dot create object. Okay. Marriage dot create object. Got it? So now when I execute it over here, see, got married will get executed. See, I should get the output. Oh, I'm not it. Creating an object. No, marriage m equals to new marriage of. So now when I execute that complete program here, okay, see here, I got the output as got married. But if I try to write it for several times over here, okay, it shouldn't get the output as got married, got married, got married. You got married thrice? No, only once, no? So it doesn't matter how many times you call the method, you should be able to create only one object here. Okay, you should be able to create only one object. So what am I supposed to do over here? Sir, I will declare it outside, sir. Okay, marriage m. Okay, declare it outside. So here I have to write one reference variable. If m Okay, if m equal to null here, what am I supposed to do here? I am supposed to write m equals to do marriage here. I'm just creating an object here. But now m is of type marriage, and that's a non-static variable. So I'll make it as private for security purpose and static over here. So now what did you understand over here? Marriage dot create object, meaning we are done with the entire process here. See, got married here. Even if you try to call the method 1,000 times here, okay, so you will be able to create an object only once, meaning you'll be able to get married only once here. Okay, it doesn't matter how many ever times you try. Okay, you can get married only once here. Okay, so now when I execute, see, got married only once here. Okay, once you got married, you cannot remarry again. Okay, so this is all about it. Got it? Understood? But now see, it's very simple, guys. Okay, it's a very simple logic behind it. Okay, first rule, private constructor, hook or crook private constructor, then public static helper method who is going to help me to create an object, then private static reference variable. If it is null, only then we need to create an object. If it is not null, we shouldn't be able to create an object, right? So that's the reason. Got the clarity here? Okay, understood the process here. Okay, this is all about the entire data. But now, age is 25. This is a non-static variable in marriage class. If it is non-static variable here, always I want the object address. I want the object data. That is when I can access it. Therefore, marriage.create object, meaning he will create an object once here. After creating an object here, he will return the object address also. See, marriage.create object means I call the method here. Okay, I call the method. Is m equal to null? Yes. He will create an object of marriage and store that address into m here. So now when I tell return m, that method is returning an object here. So what will be my return type? It will definitely not be void here. What will be my return type over here? Will it be what? Boy, girl? What will be the output? What will be the return type? Sir, you're returning M. M is char. Will I write it as char here? No. How? Sir, M is a variable. It's a reference variable, and the type of that reference variable is marriage. Therefore, the data type has to be marriage over here. Got the clarity over here? So now over here, what did you understand with this respective data here? Okay, this is the basic things which we need to understand over here. Okay, now when I call the method and it is returning some data. Okay, it is returning some data over here. See, marriage dot create object. I call that method. He creates an object and it is returning m, meaning I'll store that object data. Okay, obj. I'll store the object address into obj. What will be the type of obj here? Again, it's marriage only. See, if I'm returning int, here I'll store it into a variable which is of type int only. If I return string, here I will store it into a variable of type string only. Clear? So I have the object address of marriage here. Okay. Therefore, okay. So here I'll just write it as okay. Okay, got married. I got married at the age of okay at the age of plus obj dot age here. I'm just supposed to write it as obj dot age here. Okay, so soon no one will get married. 29 will see. Okay, so now when I execute it over here, see, got married at the age of 29. So I was just able to access that non-static variable with the help of object address. So here I can just write it as create object, the method name as get instance. Get instance meaning it is getting the the object address, no, get instance. So I can write the method name as get instance. It becomes a good standard over here. Marriage dot get instance meaning he is getting the instance, meaning the object of that particular class here. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to understand the process here. Clear everyone here? Okay, I hope you all got the clarity about what is singleton class and how are we supposed to go ahead over here. Clear everyone? Now tell me, do you have any confusion in this particular topic here? Any confusions over here? Do you want me to repeat this again? Perfect, no? Great. So now what is your task here? Okay, you have to, okay, you send it to me or no, it doesn't matter here. Okay, I want you to, I mean, work around one program here, okay, for your clarity here. Okay, so make sure here, okay, you try at least one program. I did how many programs? Account class, Aadhaar card class, Prime Minister class, marriage class. Okay, so therefore I did 4 examples for Singleton. You at least do one on your own, okay, and evaluate here, okay, if it's right way of doing it or not. Because if you do it now here, later when you clear an interview, it becomes easy. Okay, so that's the reason. Where do we use singleton, guys? Everywhere. Okay, whenever there is a necessity wherein you are supposed to create only one object of a specific class here, therefore we'll require all those. See, for example here, as I told you, right, if you go to any banking application over here, one person can have only one account over here. Got it here? See, in a bank account, if I registered one number, right, the same number I can register with different bank accounts, but the same thing I cannot register. Correct? So whenever there is a necessity of creating only one object here, then everywhere we'll be making use of singleton. Okay? So this is the basic things which we are supposed to understand here. Got the clarity here? Okay? This is all about it, guys. Okay?